Hey DIYers, Dylan here with Alarm Grid. Today we're going to review what is the default master code for the PROA7 Plus system. This also applies to the PROA7, PROA7C, and PROA7PLUSC. They're essentially all the same system, just with different branding or if you have a Wi-Fi card installed. So the default master code for these systems is 1234, pretty easy. What this code is used for is to arm and disarm the system, and it is very highly recommended that you change this code almost right away while you're setting up the system. If you leave it as the default, anyone that can look online or just knows the systems can disarm your system by using that code. So just make sure that you change it. I'm going to show you how to access the menu to change it. We'll test it a few times, arm and disarm the system, make sure it's working. But again, the default code right out of the package is 1234. All right, so we have our PROA7 Plus panel here. We haven't changed any of the codes for this, so the default master code is still 1234, but there's a few ways that we can check that on the panel. So if we go into the bottom three bars there, it's going to pull up our menu. We can go to settings. We have the user management option here. Now say we don't know the master code, but we do know the installer code. We can go ahead and enter that. The default installer code is going to be 4112. All right, so we're going to press the master option there. So it's not going to show us the pin, but we can edit it. So we'll edit it here. And our code is still 1234, but will act as if we don't know the code. That's why we entered the installer code to change this. So I'm going to enter a new code here, 4321. 4321 to confirm. Okay. And now I want to save it. But there's an issue. So the issue is that you must enter current master pin when saving a new one. In this case, we don't know the master pin. So for this, obviously we can't enter the new code that we just put to save it. It's going to say failed. And let's try it again. Enter code. Save. I'm going to try to enter the installer code. Failed. So what do you do if you don't know the master code and you're trying to change it? You can contact your monitoring company, as they will have access to the system and they can access the codes. They can review the code and change it for you. But there's also another option here. So we're going to back out. We're going to go to the bottom three. We're going to scroll to tools. All right, so we'll enter in our installer code because that's the code we know. So 4112. All right, so we'll go into programming. Now we do have the users option here, but just to show you real quick, this is going to give us the same issue that we just had. We need to know the master pin. So if this system is not set up with a monitoring company, they're obviously not going to be able to access the system to change it. So your options for this is get signed up with a monitoring company. If you have the installer code, that's really helpful because you can check your communication path is enabled and you can use that installer code to still connect this with Wi-Fi. They'll need the MAC and CRC codes from the system to get it registered. But now say either you don't have a communication card in the system or you don't want to be signed up with a monitoring company. Your only other option, unfortunately, is to actually default the entire system. So that's not something you're going to really want to do. But just to show how to access that, we will go to default options and then factory default. So factory default is just going to wipe out everything on the system. It's going to default all the codes, but it's also going to delete all your sensors. Now you can go back in and program those again. So again, this is really only going to be if you don't want to set this up with a monitoring company, you just want to use the system locally. You can do the factory default option, reset the system, start back up from scratch. Oops. So now say we do know the master code. This is a brand new system, nothing's been changed. Master code is still 1234. If we want to change that, a few options that we can do. We can go back to settings. We can use user management. We can either enter in the default installer code or whatever your installer code is, or since this is a new system, we have the 1234 master code. Access that there. Let's change the code. Save. And then we have to enter in the default code to save it. Perfect, we didn't get any failed errors or anything. So that's good there. We can test that by arming the system. Let's just do arm home.
Armed home.
And now if we want to cancel that, we have to enter in the master code. So for this, we're going to put in our new code we set.
Disarmed, ready to arm.
And it disarmed. All right, so that confirmed our code has been changed. We were able to default to disarm the system. Now if we want to change that again or access it, we'll go back into settings, user management, enter the master code here, so 4321, master, and let's just change this back to the default 1234, 1234, save it, enter the current master code 4321, and it is saved. We didn't get any errors, we didn't get the failed. And again, if we want to test this,
Armed home.
arm the system, cancel it, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Disarmed, ready to arm.
And disarmed. Okay, so that was the default master code for the PROA7 Plus panel. 1, 2, 3, 4, we changed it to 4, 3, 2, 1, tested it, made sure it armed and disarmed, and then just so I don't forget the code, change it back to 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, if you don't know the code, you have to have this registered with a monitoring company. They can access your panel and they can help change those codes with you. If not, if you're not looking to be set up with a monitoring company, you have to default the system with using the installer code. If you did like the video, please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hit the bell icon to be notified about any future videos we release. If you have any questions for us, our phone number is 888-818-7728. You can come to our website, which is www.alarmgrid.com. We have a live chat feature there. Or you can email us. Our email is support@alarmgrid.com. Again, my name is Dylan from Alarm Grid, and thank you for watching.